United Nations. United Nations, or UN, was basically started back in 1945, right after World War II. Its main goal was to stop global conflicts and push for lasting peace. The key members are big countries like the US, Russia, China, France, and the UK, who all have veto power on the Security Council. The UN focuses on diplomacy, humanitarian aid, and human rights. But it gets a lot of criticism from some countries who feel it's not effective enough at making strong resolutions, especially when a permanent member's interests are on the line. NATO. NATO, or North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was formed in 1949 to counter the Soviet threat after World War II. The main idea was for members like the US, the UK, and France to have collective security. This is all summed up in Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty, which says an attack on one member is an attack on all. NATO is often involved in military conflicts and economic alliances, but countries like Russia aren't big fans, seeing it as a threat due to Western expansion and dominance, especially as it adds more members to the East. CSTO. CSTO, or Collective Security Treaty Organization, was formed in 1992 as a military alliance for former Soviet countries like Russia, Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus. It's all about protecting collective security and guarding its members from outside threats. Western countries see it as a tool for Russia to expand its influence in Central Asia and a counter to NATO. A key mission for the CSTO is to keep stability along the borders of its member states. Five Eyes. The Five Eyes is an intelligence alliance that came together after World War II. Its members are the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Their goal is to share intelligence to maintain common security, especially against terrorism and spying. It's considered one of the most comprehensive intelligence collaborations in the world, but some critics say it invades privacy and is a tool for excessive surveillance. Quad. The Quad, or Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, was formed in 2007 by 4 countries: the US, Japan, India, and Australia. Its purpose is to boost security cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region. The alliance was created to handle regional challenges, like potential threats from China, and to protect freedom of navigation. China itself often criticizes the Quad, seeing it as an attempt to block its influence, which creates some geopolitical tension. The Quad focuses on joint military exercises, as well as non-military cooperation, like disaster relief. Axis. The Axis wasn't a formal alliance like the UN, but rather a name for the group of countries that fought together against the Allies during World War II. The 3 main powers in this alliance were Germany, Italy, and Japan. They shared similar ideologies of fascism and expansionism, which pushed them to ally through treaties like the Tripartite Pact in 1940. This alliance was formed with the goal of world domination, dividing territories, and fighting against the influence of the Allied nations. Although they had close military cooperation, the Axis powers didn't have a centralized command structure like NATO, which was one of their weaknesses in the war. OPEC. OPEC, or Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, was formed in 1960. Its main purpose is to manage oil production policies for its member states, such as Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Venezuela. The goal is to control oil prices and keep the global oil market stable. OPEC became a huge geopolitical force when it placed an oil embargo in 1973, which caused a global energy crisis. But oil-consuming countries like the US often criticize OPEC for its massive influence on the world's energy market. OECD. The OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, was founded in 1961 to promote better economic policies and global well-being. It's made up of developed countries like the US, Japan, and Germany. The goal is to boost economic growth and international cooperation. The OECD often publishes reports and stats that are a main reference for policymakers worldwide. However, some developing countries criticize the OECD, feeling its policies favor developed nations. G7. The G7, or Group of 7, was formed in 1975 and includes 7 big countries: the US, Canada, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and the UK. The G7 focuses on global economic issues, climate change, and security. Developing countries often criticize the G7 for dominating global decisions without involving non-members. Even though they don't have legal authority, G7 decisions often influence global policy due to the economic power of its members. G20. The G20, or Group of 20, is an international forum that was formed in 1999, bringing together the 19 largest economies and the European Union. It tackles important global economic issues like financial stability, climate change, and sustainable development. The G20 became the main forum for coordinating international economic policy after the 2008 global financial crisis. Its members represent most of the world's GDP and population, making it a key platform for global economic dialogue. BRICS. BRICS was formed in 2009 as a group of nations aiming to strengthen economic cooperation between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Their goal is to rely less on Western economies and boost their influence in the global market. One of their most important initiatives is the New Development Bank, NDB, which funds infrastructure and development projects in member countries. Western countries sometimes see BRICS as a challenge to their economic dominance. Arab League. The Arab League was formed in 1945 to boost political, economic, and social cooperation among Arab nations. Important members include Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. The goal is to maintain regional stability and protect Arab interests. While it's often involved in regional conflicts, many feel the organization isn't very effective at solving internal problems or wars in the region. The Arab League's secretariat is in Cairo, Egypt, and plays a key role in mediating conflicts between Arab nations. ASEAN. ASEAN, or Association of Southeast Asian Nations, was formed in 1967 to increase political, economic, and social cooperation in Southeast Asia. Big countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines are members. ASEAN's goal is to solve conflicts and build the region's economy. But countries like China are sometimes skeptical of ASEAN's influence, especially on sensitive issues. A major milestone for ASEAN was creating the ASEAN Economic Community, which aims to create a single market in the region. GCC. The GCC, or Gulf Cooperation Council, was formed in 1981 by Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Its goal is to increase economic, political, and security cooperation in the Persian Gulf. The GCC is often involved in energy stability and regional security issues. However, internal conflicts, like the one that happened between Qatar and its neighbors, often make it hard for them to stay united. APEC. APEC, or Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, was founded in 1989. Its goal is to create freer and more open trade and investment among its 21 members, including major players like the US, China, and Indonesia. APEC focuses on economic liberalization to boost growth and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. APEC has a non-binding approach, which makes it more flexible in encouraging cooperation. European Union. The European Union, or EU, was formed in 1993 to achieve economic, political, and social integration in Europe. Big countries like Germany, France, and Italy are major players. The EU's goal is to create a single market and maintain stability. They also have shared policies and a common currency, the euro. One of the EU's most important policies is the Schengen Agreement, which allows for the free movement of people and goods between most member countries. But some countries like the UK were skeptical and eventually went through Brexit, showing the challenges of full integration. SCO. The SCO, or Shanghai Cooperation Organization, was formed in 2001 by China, Russia, and several Central Asian countries. Its goal is to boost security, economic, and political cooperation in the Eurasian region. The SCO focuses on fighting terrorism and maintaining stability. Some Western countries see the SCO as an attempt by China and Russia to balance their influence in Asia. The SCO also holds regular joint military exercises to improve defense coordination among member states. African Union. The African Union, or AU, was formed in 2002 to boost political, economic, and social cooperation across Africa. Members include Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt. The AU's goal is to achieve regional integration and resolve conflicts. However, some outside countries, especially from the West, criticize the AU for not being effective at handling internal issues in its member states. The AU has a key initiative called Agenda 2063, which is a blueprint for the socio-economic transformation of the African continent. AfCFTA. The AfCFTA, or African Continental Free Trade Area, is a free trade zone created by countries in the African Union. Its goal is to create a single market for goods and services across the entire continent, which can boost industrialization, reduce poverty, and increase trade within Africa. This is a very ambitious economic initiative with the potential to transform the continent's economic landscape. The AfCFTA is the world's largest free trade agreement in terms of the number of participating countries. Commonwealth. The Commonwealth of Nations was formed in 1931. It's an alliance of countries that were mostly former British colonies, like the UK, Canada, India, and Australia. Its goal is to boost economic, cultural, and political cooperation among its members. Even though it focuses on peace and development, some countries still see the Commonwealth as a dominant legacy of British imperialism. The Commonwealth Games, held every 4 years, are a symbol of unity and cultural cooperation among its members. Enjoy this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe to Smart Simply for more quick and clear ideas. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us what other exciting topics you'd like us to explore.